Yeah. Good morning, colleagues. The Security Council will convene shortly closed consultation at the request of the Kingdom of Bahrain following the heinous attacks carried out by the Islamic Republic of Iran against the United Arab Emirates on the 4th of May and recent 2 days. The Council will be briefed on these attacks, which are part of a deliberate and escalating pattern of destabilizing conduct that threaten the security and stability of the Gulf region. The targeting of the United Arab Emirates constitute for Bahrain and the for region as a whole an immediate and a serious collective concern. These unlawful attacks are in a clear violation of the Security Council Resolution 2817 and further demonstrate continued non-compliance by Iran to that resolution. Civilian critical infrastructure and commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz continue to be targeted. The recent drone and missiles attacks in Fujairah, including against critical energy facilities, resulting in civilian casualties and infrastructure damage. Such action pose serious threat to international peace and security. This dangerous escalation risk undermining ongoing diplomatic efforts and negotiation processes aimed at restoring regional stability. The Kingdom of Bahrain reiterated its full solidarity with the United Arab Emirates and condemning these attacks. The security of the region is indivisible, and such attacks must cease immediately. They require credible, united, and decisive response from the international community, in particular from the Security Council. I thank you, and now I give the floor to His Excellency Ambassador Mohammed Boushab, Permanent Representative of the United Arab Emirates, to say also a few words. Please.
Thank you, dear John. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here on such short notice. The Security Council meets today under deeply troubling circumstances. A member state of the United Nations has once again chosen the path of escalation, launching attacks against its neighbor in clear violation of the UN Charter and international law. On the 4th of May, Iran launched 12 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 UAVs directly at the United Arab Emirates. These attacks included drone strikes, which resulted in a fire in the Fujairah oil industry zone, critical civilian energy infrastructure. UAE air defenses successfully intercepted the majority of these threats, limiting the damage. Nevertheless, 3 civilians were injured. Let us be clear. Targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure is not only unacceptable, it's unlawful. And this was not an isolated incident. Since 28 February, the UAE has intercepted over 500 ballistic missiles, nearly 30 cruise missiles, and more than 2,000 UAVs launched from Iran. Commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz continue to be struck. Deliberate attacks on international shipping in one of the world's most vital waterways. And what happens in the Strait of Hormuz does not stay in the Strait of Hormuz. It affects energy markets, supply chains, food prices, and economic stability across the globe. Every country represented at the United Nations has a stake in protecting freedom of navigation and the security of critical energy infrastructure. This is not only a regional issue. It is a test of whether the international system can protect the basic conditions on which the global economy depends. These are not the actions of a state seeking stability. They are the actions of a regime choosing escalation over diplomacy and coercion over peace. The UAE condemns these attacks in the strongest possible terms. They violate Security Council Resolution 2817, a resolution co-sponsored by 136 member states, the highest in the history of the Council. The will of the international community could not be clearer. Iran's non-compliance could not be more brazen. Let me also be clear, the UAE will continue to exercise its inherent right of self-defense under international law as recognized in Article 51 of the UN Charter. But today, the question before this Council is not only about the UAE. The question is whether repeated attacks on civilian infrastructure, commercial shipping, and international energy supplies will carry consequences. Because when missiles strike oil facilities, when shipping lanes are threatened, and when the free flow of trade is put at risk, the impact is not confined to one country. The costs are felt by families far beyond the region through higher prices, economic uncertainty, disrupted supply chains, and growing instability. We call on the Security Council to act decisively in response to Iran's violations and the clear threat they pose to international peace and security. This is why this moment matters. The Council should uphold its own decisions and compel Iran's compliance using all tools at its disposal. The Security Council cannot remain a forum for repeating platitudes while violations continue in plain sight. If the Security Council does not act when its resolutions are openly violated, then other actors will draw their own conclusions about the credibility of this organization and the enforceability of Security Council resolutions aimed at upholding international law. Therefore, its resolutions must be fully implemented. Because the issue before us today is not only the security of one member state, it is the credibility of this Council, the protection of international commerce, and the principle that states cannot attack civilian infrastructure and global shipping without consequences. The UAE will continue to work with partners for stability, security, and de-escalation. But peace and stability require clarity, and clarity begins with accountability. Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, what consequences are you seeking? I mean, the draft resolution mentions possible sanctions and other measures. What other measures?
Well, the draft resolution indicates that in the case of non-compliance, the Council will return to consider further measures. And of course, those are measures that Council members will decide, but they must be appropriate and they must be ones that can compel Iran to abide by international law and by the Security Council's resolutions.
Do you think it's possible for the Security Council, where you saw Russia and China veto a resolution which was not under Chapter 7, to agree to this draft which is under Chapter 7?
Not only is it possible, but it's necessary. Thank you.